Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kramer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I live in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. Let me know that you're watching and let me know where you're watching from. I love to know where people are. I don't know why. It's just something about me. I think it's because I love maps. Do you love maps? I love maps. So when people travel or I hear about an accident somewhere, I have to go look at Google Maps and see where things are happening. Hopefully you know that these are all the places you can find me. If you want to order Stampin' Up! Products through me, you use northstarstamper.stampinup.net. There was another Sue Kramer, and she took all versions of our name. We actually have the same middle initial. She was in Iowa. I think she's now in Arizona, and one of these days I will meet her. I also have a personal website. That's what I call this one, northstarstamper.com. I have lots of ideas there. I am blogging every week. My blog posts go live on Fridays. I love to do fun folds, so if you're looking for some fun fold descriptions and ideas, check out northstarstamper.com. All right, so today we are working with Designer Series paper. So hello. Let's see. Lots of friends today. Hello, everybody. Oh, Anne says Dad made us love maps. That could be. I remember looking at maps and using that as a distraction when we were traveling as kids.
Are they already on
Okay. You might hear Andrew. He's gaming with friends on the other side of the basement. All right, let's talk about Designer Series paper. That's what Stampin' Up! Calls pattern paper. And we have a sale for the month of June. So these Designer Series paper packs are 15% off during the month of June. So these three... Oh, hopefully you can see. And these three. I thought this was kind of interesting. They're some of the colors that are returning, plus the new neutral pecan pie. I haven't got this yet, but I might. Lemon Lime Twist was not my favorite, but it's growing on me now that I've been using it. The Ink Botanicals. I love how this was created. I think I already shared the video. They used actual flowers, like here, I don't know if you can see. They actually used a flower, I think it was a fresh flower, put ink on the flower, and then put it on their paper to make the background for these. It was fascinating, so fun to watch. And I don't like the color combination in here, but I like the colors individually. So I did just order that. We're using the Let's Go Fishing today, talking about Father's Day. I won this playing bingo. I haven't even opened it yet. And then I think you've seen me use the Masterfully Made. Again, so interesting how this was made. They actually used paper and tore it to make the background, the paper. I assume they took photos of it. The Stargazing and the Zoo Crew are also on sale, so that's where the sale ends. And then there's also an online exclusive Designer Series paper, Hello Irresistible, that's on sale for 15% off during June. So I have some samples for you. Okay, Mom, let me know if Dad is watching with you too. I had questions about the fishing, what's it called? Gone fishing dies. And I contacted Mike, my brother, and he didn't get back to me. So I have questions about what the dies are in the gone fishing dies. So anyway, but I will share some samples here with you first. So this is a card I got from a teammate, Barb, and I wanted to use this as a, oh goodness, I was inspired by her card, but I couldn't find it this afternoon when I was making another card I have to show you. But this is fascinating. It's 12 inches by 5 1/4, and she scored at 4 1/8, so she had 3 sections. This one is folded up, and she just cut this corner off to make a little pocket that she put her note in there for me. So I thought that was a great idea. You might recognize these. These are from the pocket fun fold that I've been sharing the last couple days. I could use this on a card like this, not this paper, but you get the idea. I would have to adhere here and here, though, to make my pocket, which I probably will do. Again, hers was folded, so that'll be a fun one. Watch for that coming up soon, my own. So this is what I thought Barb had sent me. Again, it uses a big piece of paper, and I didn't make my notes. Again, it is 5 1/4 by 12, scored at 4 and 8, and then you make a Z-fold, and then I use the Radiating Stitches dies for those layers, and then these florals are from the Earth and Textures. This pattern paper is very old and retired, but I thought it was a fun card. My daughter's roommate has a few weddings to go to, and she asked me for some wedding cards, so that's going to be one of them. I have more. Stay with me. So I watched a friend's video the other day, and she did Father's Day cards, and it occurred to me, I haven't started my Father's Day cards. And I send them to all the fathers in our families, and so I make 14 Father's Day cards. So for all the nephews that are fathers, will get a card. So is Alma here? I was going to see if she... Oh, not yet. She's probably out gardening. I know they have a big garden that she tends to. So these are going to be for two of the Kramer fathers. Not my father-in-law. Sadly, this will be the first Father's Day without him. But anyway, this is old, retired paper. But I have a brother-in-law that likes motorcycles, and I have a nephew-in-law, I guess you could call him. He's married to my niece, or Tony's niece, who likes cars. So I use this, I don't know if you can see, the gray and gold is, it's foil. This one just has the wrenches on the inside and then just the bolts on the inside of that. So I cut strips, and just layered that. So those were kind of fun, because I don't think those two gentlemen are fishermen. Quick ideas. This is a 2-inch wide piece of designer series paper. These fish came from the Gone Fishing. Let me show you these cards first, and then I'll pull out all the paper. Can you tell that this was cut off? This was on the bottom of my piece, and then he was on the side of my piece. And so I fussy cut him. I'm like, I'm not going to throw him away. But I just, I thought that was kind of fun. And I think he may have been missing his belly, so that's why I put a fish on top of there. Again, 2 inches wide. And are those fish? Yeah, okay. I thought the fish were upside down. This is one of the lures. Let's see, any comments yet? Okay. And this is a piece of that jute that I separate, and we're going to be using that today. This is the boho blue, that new color. If I have time, I will show you how I did this card. So that's one piece of designer series paper with a slit here, and then you turn it over, if the two coordinate, obviously. And then you put a piece of, I just use plain cardstock. An afterthought, I wish I would have embossed the cardstock here that separates them. So it kind of looks like they're cut at an angle, but they're not. If this, this is Pebbled Path. So if this Pebbled Path piece is wide enough, if the piece of cardstock you use here is wide enough, it looks like they were cut at an angle. So it's kind of a sneaky way to do that. And I learned that from Julie Davison. She used that, I think, last week on her video. So you can see I use the same die and embossed dots. And I just love this paper. And you'll see that I'm using vanilla for all my card bases. Our cardstock is getting quite expensive. They've increased the price, I think, about twice in the last 3 years or something. And so I'm using vanilla for my card bases, and then just pieces of it here and there. And I think it'll be more economical. All right, so this designer series paper, it's called Let's Go Fishing. Let's see. Dad is here, but using his tablet. Okay. I think I know what the pieces are, but we'll see. All right, so we have boho blue, calypso coral. Let's see if I know all my colors. Misty moonlight, mossy meadow, pebbled path. I like that one. That's a fun one. Pecan pie. This is my new favorite neutral. It kind of replaced soft suede, and it's got more gold in it, and it's very nice. Petal pink, which I think is interesting. You can see it is in some of these fish and some of the lures, but I can't imagine using too much of that on a card with this. And then the last one is wild wheat. Again, this wasn't my favorite color, but since I've been using it, I'm learning to like it. So those are the colors in the paper. The paper's on page 79 if you want to look at your catalog. So here's some fish, and that's where I cut out my fish, and I think, here, let me take your pick. So if you cut out this fish, and you layer one on top of him, like that, you don't know that his his belly was missing on the paper. And again, this one here was this fish here, and I didn't want to waste them. There was enough of the fish there that if I hadn't pointed that out, would you have noticed? Probably not. And I doubt whoever gets this will notice that those fish will wonder why those fish were the way they are. I think I'll just show you both sides right away. I don't know that I'll use much of this plaid. I kind of like it, but I really like the colors in the fish, so they're kind of fun. Then here we have some lures on Mossy Meadow, and just some stripes, and I believe that's pebbled path, a little muted, like it's stamped off. And here's some of those lures. Isn't that fun? There's again some petal pink and calypso coral. This could be used for anything, wouldn't have to be for fishing. That'll be a nice one to go with some outdoorsy themes. I love this one. It looks like water, doesn't it? So it's got the two-tone blue. And on the back side we have a map. I don't know where that is. I haven't looked at it close enough. I'll just see if there's any words on it. There are words on there. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's just numbers with coordinates or whatever. There's words there, but I'm not going to take the time now to try to read them. But again, a map. I want to see where that is. Some fishing poles with some fishing line, and there's a little lure on the end. And then a nice net with pebble path on the back. And our last piece, you've seen the fish in two-tone blue. And just some blue background. Looks like wood planks, but they're blue. So, interesting. I've really enjoyed using this paper. All right. So, you have probably seen me do this before. So, when I get a new stamp set and dies, I like to make myself a board. And I stamp so I can see how everything works. So this one stamp here, if you use it multiple times, I could see using this in multiple shades of blue, like the boho blue and the misty moonlight, to make water. Isn't that kind of fun? I haven't done that yet, other than here. And then here are the stamps, and then the coordinating dies, and you have some two-step stamping to give some color to our lures here and some color to our fish. And here, whether you use the detail with the lines, which would be this stamp here, or the red would be the stamp here. So my questions about lures, and I think this is actually a bobber. Would the bobber ever be anything other than red? Mom, can you ask Dad that? I've done a little research, and so I think I know how to answer my questions. So this die is fascinating. So I think I'm going to make a couple Father's Day cards with this. It's supposed to be a tackle box. If you look in the catalog on page 78, look at this. It is so fun. So they emboss the Happy Father's Day and just puts an assortment of lures in there. So I think this one here answers the questions I had for Mike. And my questions here. I didn't know what these were. This little piece here, I think it's just an attachment for a lure to add some shiny to catch the fish's attraction. Or the fish attraction. And I think this is normally silver. I just cut them in gray. These were the 4. This is actually one die, and it cuts all 3 of them. I didn't know what these were. My guess is that they are parts of a lure, and I'm thinking that that is for fly fishing, which I don't think we have fly fishermen in the family. So I was confused, and I did a little research online. Googling and then selecting images, so I guess that's what it is. And I think if you can get kind of closer, I think this is supposed to be like a feather that you would put on a lure. I don't know. And then here again, this is how they had these 3 pieces. So I cut this in brown, this in white, this in red to get this combination. And again, that's exactly how they have it. So I'm not, is this also a bobber? That's my other question. Okay, these last 3 dies. So this is one die, and it's 6 inches long, so that's what I have marked here. And it cuts, and if you can see, it embosses, but it cuts this this line here. So if you cut, this is like the positive and the negative after I cut that. So I cut here and here to get these pieces. And then this one was kind of fun, and I'm going to use this tonight. So these are 2 separate dies, and it cuts a slit, and then like these ripple, and these are embossed, but this is cut. So you can stick a fish in there. So I thought that was kind of fun, and we'll do that on our card tonight. So that's my question for Dad is, what are these? And then I think they're parts of a lure. And I also wonder what color they're supposed to be. So I have them die cut in vanilla, and I have my blending brushes, and I can color them if we think they're supposed to be colored. So ladies, you chime in. Maybe you know too, but since my dad was here, I thought Mom could ask him. All right. So, okay, Mom says bobbers usually are red and white. Okay, good. So, if anybody else knows, let me know. I'm all for learning. Okay. So, what have I got today? What have I got? Let me pull out, get me clean up a little bit. So, I have used, I think I told you about this a couple weeks ago, an old catalog that I just made into an envelope that I will keep in my, with my dies. And here, I have just cut out a whole bunch of fish. I was watching Jeopardy this afternoon, and I just cut out a whole bunch of fish. And then here are those pieces I told you I die cut. This was what was left after I die cut this. So these pieces, I saved them because that'd be a great sentiment piece. This is retired soft suede, but I'll still use them. They go really well with this suite too. So good color. So there's my fish. Like I said, I'm not sure I'm going to be using much of the plaid on the other side because these fish are pretty fun. It didn't take me long. Like I said, I cut them out while I watched Jeopardy this afternoon. All right, so I have that. And I have my Very Vanilla card base. I like photographing top folding cards, so that's what I'm making these days. So it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 to make our card base. I have a piece of boho blue that is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to put that layer there. From the scraps from making all these cards that I showed you, I cut some 1 by 4 inch strips, and so they're going to line up exactly with my 4-inch piece here. Oh, I kind of like the fish better than, I don't know, we're going to play around and see what I've got. I thought this would be cute on top, and you can see I use the radiating stitched dies, and then I cut that little, I think it's supposed to be a water, the water. Maybe we'll add some color to that with a blending brush. And what else do I have in here? Oh, more pattern paper. And then I already stamped and die cut. I'll show you how they go together though. But I thought we could just layer this on here, showing you great use for your scraps. Well, before I adhere them, I'll make sure the fish are going the right way. And then we're going to put that on there. And then I have some jute. So this is the in color jute, and I think I mentioned this last week. It's kind of thick, so I didn't buy it at first, but I won this playing bingo with my friend. But I learned that you can separate it, and you get 3 pieces, and so here's one of the pieces, and one of the cards I showed you earlier had a piece on it too. So I thought we could, I don't know, maybe just put this under the corner. That'd be good. And then one of our fish is going to be coming out of the hole. I think he's going to be jumping. I think I do want to color that a little bit blue. Or we could use one of these. I don't know, so many choices. I could put something on the inside too. So many options. That's why it's so fun playing with stuff like this. But I think what I will do, because it gets kind of putsy when you have to stamp and die cut and then die cut these. And I did put adhesive sheet on the back of these. I think sometime when I'm not feeling creative and I can't decide on what card to make, I will just sit down with some Very Vanilla cardstock and some embossed adhesive sheets and just die cut a whole bunch of pieces from the dies. And that way I'm ready to go. So it's like I'm making my own kit, and it'll be quicker to make cards with this suite. All right. I think we're going to start by putting our layers together. All right. I do like my liquid glue. It gives me a chance to move things around. Again, this is 4 by 5 1/4 on my card base. And my card base isn't quite straight, but that's right. It'll do. Now to decide, I think I like that one in the middle. There, I think that works. just as some extra color there. So what I'm going to do, and these are the same width. These are all 4 inches. I had a piece that was already 4 by 1, and I didn't want to have to cut off any. I think normally I would go 3 1/4, 3 3/4, but since I had a piece cut already, I didn't want to trim it. So just a little bit of glue there. I lined up the edge. See, I can move it still, and whether I want to or not. There we go. I'm going to hold it while I burnish that down. So this is going to be kind of a quick card, which I had, like I said, I had 14 of them to make. I think I had 7, right? The 2 motorcycle ones or car ones. Whoops. I got glue on it. And then I had a few of the fishing ones. I'm trying to think who else in the family would or would not like the fishing. I have to think through the men that will be getting them. I think the rest of them here fish. I know the dads in Michigan fish, so not sure. I have to think about them. I have to think about who the cards are going to. So I'm going to take a blending brush and some boho blue ink. I'm going to open it, and I want to tap it off in my lid just because I don't want quite that much ink, and I'm just going to blend very lightly. I can always add more. Kind of wish I'd used a smaller brush. We do have small brushes, but this will work. There, just enough blue so you can see the fish coming out. Again, that's boho, one of our new ones, and that's the color I used there. Now we have to decide which fish is going to come out of there. And I think I'm going to put this, instead of centering it, I'm going to put it down here so you can see the fish on top. Maybe put this here. Oh, that's cute. We'll do that. That way I get to use the ones that I die cut. Here, do you want to see that stamped? That might be kind of fun. Let me grab some paper. See, scraps. So to get these, this is 2-step stamping because we have let's see, it's a photopolymer, so I'm going to use my mat. We have the lure itself, and I always stamp with the darkest color first. Make sure I'm on there. So there's that. Isn't that cute? I love the details in it. It looks like feathers. All right, I'm going to put that away. We'll make another boho blue. And then the detail. And it's taken me a while to figure out how to line this up, so I practiced a few times. I mean, 3 or 4, not a lot. Sorry if I don't think my head's in there. Oh, that's pretty good. So I line up this edge, and then that's a little lower than I like it, but you get the idea. So there's our lure, and then I have a die that cuts that shape, so that's what I did to create those. This one is that one is wild wheat, and that one is boho blue. In case you were wondering, I'm just going to put this aside. You don't need to see me die cut. Not today, anyway. You know what? I think I'm going to add that just for fun, because I can. Fish. We need a fish. So I'm going to put this lure down here with some of our twine. And I'm going to color this, I think, blue. Sorry. And then that'll go, and then we'll adhere all that together, and then we need a fish coming out of here, and then we're going to stamp Happy Father's Day. Let's use Pebbled Path, though. That. And I think I have that out already. So this is in the stamp set. This one is in the stamp set. So it's a nice font. Something different. I think I have a Happy Father's Day stamp from an old paper pumpkin. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention. So those of you in the family that also get paper pumpkin, I will not use paper pumpkin for Father's Day cards so that you can.
Why is that guy not
just so you know. Let's see. We want some color in our fish. I think this big one even fits. Should we have him jumping out of the water? I think that'd be kind of cute. I think this fits. I practiced earlier. Right? Oh, isn't he cute? Oh my gosh. It's so cute. Oh, it makes me laugh. And then we'll put this down here. And, okay. So we're just going to do that. I think he's going to get a dimensional. Put a dimensional right there. I don't want to cover up the words. There we go. Alright, and I think we'll just adhere that flat. Too funny. And again, I'm going to try to, I'm looking here and here on the DSP to even that out. Alright, and then to put twine and ribbon on my cards. Let's get those out of the way. I do like to use tear and tape, just because it's a stronger adhesive, I do believe. So I'm going to put a very small piece right where I want it to be. And take off the liner. See, I can't talk and take off liners at the same time. I'm just going to loop this around and let that adhesive hold it in place. Just like that. Maybe up a little. There. And then I'm going to use mini dimensionals on the lure itself. This is really cute. I like this card. This has been fun, really fun to play with. The other suite I'm enjoying using a lot is Earthen Textures. I don't want to get this dirty, so I'm going to use a scrap here and get my blue back. Earthen Textures, I believe, is the stamps and dies. Have you noticed that our stamps and dies that are bundles are now the same name? So be careful when you're ordering. I suppose the price will give it away. And the suite name corresponds to the name of the designer series paper. I noticed that when I was looking at it earlier. So I'm using the take your pick tool because I don't want to get my fingers too dirty. I'm going to tear this off and blot it a little. Should be dry. Oh yeah, that's good. So now I have a blue feather to add to my lure. And it is so tiny, I remembered to add an adhesive sheet on the back. I stocked up when Stampin' Up! Had adhesive sheets and discontinued them, so that's why they don't say Stampin' Up! On them. We bought them from somebody else, and now we create our own, I believe. Alright, I can't get... Alright, sorry, I have to be quiet for a minute and take this liner off. I almost have it. Almost. There we go. Oh, I forgot that it was white or vanilla on the other side. And we're just going to put that there. There we go. If I have enough pattern paper, I will use the pattern paper to put a liner on my envelope flap. And so there's another Father's Day card. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Oh, good. Half an hour. That's what I like my videos to be. So I'll bring these back. Oh, let's get this out. Kind of a mess. I'll leave the paper. There's the stamp set. Gone fishing. Oh, fishing. They didn't use the Stampin' with the apostrophe. All right, let's bring all these back. So any questions, let me know. Thank you, Kathy. I thought the fish jumping out of the water was funny. Let me see this. Oh, that's cute. Very cute. If I do say so myself. But the paper did the work for me. So here's all of them. These are 4 inches, and then I think I did by 3, and then overlapped them. You can see an overlap here. Or you could just take a 4 by 5 1/4 and flip that over, and then you know they're gonna meet exactly. I think that's what I did with this one. And then our motorcycles. I don't know if you can see these. Almost. And this one I did emboss. The green with the metal. And then our last two that use bigger pieces of Designer Series paper. So thank you for joining me. I'll probably be using Designer Series paper as my focus for the rest of the month while it's on sale to give you lots of ideas. I do take requests too, so if there's one you want to see in particular, let me know. I can move that down a little bit. Thank you for joining me. Let's see if there's any questions. Let's see. You said wild wheat. What is the other one? What colors did you use on, on the lures on the card? Yes, those are both boho blue. Oh, on this one, that is wild wheat, if that's what you're talking about. That one's the wild wheat, which I'll put it there just so you can see. I think that's what you meant. All right, I think we're good. Let me quick reading. Okay, I think we're good. Kathy, if I didn't answer your question, message me later, and I will let you know. I think that was what you would ask. So, great paper. I hope you get some and enjoy it too if you have fishermen in your family. If not, the back sides. So the back side are the blue and this pebbled path. This pebbled path. So the back sides are great too, in case you don't use the fish as much. So thanks everybody. Have a great week. I'll see you next Monday, or I'll be with you next Monday. Bye.